thank you all for joining, and I'm very excited because a lot of people had asked for the online Bhagavad Gita session, and here we are. Tomorrow will be the next session. So what we did was last Sunday, we had the one offline session in the temple, and today we have the online session, but tomorrow we'll have both online and offline together. And that's how it is going to be for all the next section will be together. So tomorrow you'll have the next session. So let's dive right into Bhagavad Gita as it is.
Questions put in chat.
If you have any questions, you can put it on the chat. I can see one already here. Yeah. Hi, that's from Sapna. Hi, Sapna. You can put the questions and we'll take it at the end. Because I think that the Zoom, oh, you're not able to hear my voice? Can you hear my voice? You can write in chat. Okay, thank you. So we have very limited time because the Zoom has made a 40 minutes slot, the free Zoom service. So we'll try to squeeze it in that. So this is the Bhagavad Gita as it is. And it's called as it is for a reason. Because if you see in the market, there are lots of Bhagavad Gitas. And in fact, when Prabhupada published this edition, he was asked, why do we need one more Bhagavad Gita when there's already so many in the market? And so Prabhupada has titled it Bhagavad Gita as it is, because Prabhupada has put Lord Krishna in the center. In every page of this Bhagavad Gita as it is, this is the ISKCON's Bhagavad Gita as it is, you find Lord Krishna in every single page. But believe it or not, there are Bhagavad Gitas out there in the market where they have conveniently avoided Krishna. And they have made their own interpretations, like the war of Kurukshetra is a psychological war which is happening inside you. And Arjuna or Krishna, both are inside you. It's yourself that, all these kinds of interpretation are not authentic. And the Kurukshetra war is a historical event that happened in time and place 5,000 years ago. And Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita. He is the speaker of Bhagavad Gita. And okay, some people are joining. Please mute your microphones because then it creates a lot of echo. Yeah. So, so Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada, that's what we are going to be doing in the session. We will be completely relying on Prabhupada's interpretation of Bhagavad Gita. So I'm going to share the slides for this. That's Bhagavad Gita as it is by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So this PowerPoint was used last week for last week's session. We started with the Prabhupada's Pranati prayers. And then we recited the popular Vandeham, the Mangalacharan, and then the Maha Mantra. And then we went on to discuss about what is Bhagavad Gita and some interesting facts about Bhagavad Gita. And then we'll have some question answer session. No, I need to see. Okay. So the Prabhupada's Pranati mantra Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So here we are offering our respects to Srila Prabhupada. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at His lotus feet. Our respectful obeisances are unto you, O spiritual master, servant of Saraswati Goswami. Saraswati Goswami here refers to the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami was a spiritual master of Prabhupada. So he's offered obeisances. Prabhupada was always, every moment, he was quite aware of the fact that it is his spiritual master's blessings that is behind all his success. Never even for a moment did Prabhupada ever take credit for anything that he achieved. And what he achieved was nothing like in the history. His achievements were miraculous, nothing short of a miracle. At the old age of nearly 70 years, Prabhupada was 69 when he boarded the Jaladuta ship to travel to America. Prabhupada had never ever stepped out of India, but his spiritual master had asked him to spread the message of Lord Krishna all over the world. That was his spiritual master's instruction. And taking that to heart, Prabhupada, at the age of 70, nearly 70, he decided to embark on this highly risky journey. Prabhupada had his own medical issues. He was a heart patient. He was a sannyasi, meaning he had no income. He was depending on others for his sustenance. With 40 rupees in his pocket, Prabhupada boarded Jaladuta ship, the ticket for which he got free from a friend. And for the next 10 years, in the next 10 years, Prabhupada managed to spread the message of Krishna consciousness all over the world. I hope I'm audible. If you're not able to hear me, you can put it on the chat, because the internet connection is not very stable. Sorry. The voice is breaking. Okay, some people are able to hear me. Right, so servant of Saraswati Goswami refers to Srila Prabhupada's Gurudev, who he was highly indebted to. And you are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Deva, delivering the Western countries which are filled with impersonalism and voidism. So the Prabhupada's primary mission was to spread the Krishna consciousness overseas. Prabhupada did try to spread Krishna consciousness in India. For a number of years, he did preach in India, but he had little success. And once he became successful in the West and he came back to India, Indians quickly accepted it, because we have our swabhav, our nature is that whatever comes from the West, we quickly accept it. So even Krishna consciousness had to go from our country to the West, and it had to be imported back into our country for us to accept it. It's not that Prabhupada did not preach here. He did a lot of preaching in India, but he achieved a stupendous success overseas in America. So this is Prabhupada's Pranati. It would be nice if you can remember it, and we chant it every day. And now the second slide, we are going to Mangalacharan. This is a prayer where most of the important guru or spiritual masters of the parampara, Gaudiya, Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Vaishnava parampara, which is what ISKCON is following, all the major spiritual masters are covered in this prayer. It's called Mangalacharan. So it goes like this. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master. So here we see, we are starting with the spiritual master. And unto the feet of all Vaishnavas. Sometimes we feel that our business is with Krishna and we have nothing to do with others. And this we see, I often see in the temple, people walk right through the door and they head right towards Krishna without giving a second look at the people who are in the temple. The people sitting in the temple are Vaishnavas. If they're chanting the names of the Lord, if they're praying to Lord Krishna, they're Vaishnavas. Vaishnava means a devotee of Vishnu or Krishna. So when you enter the temple, the first thing you have to do is bow down to all the Vaishnavas. And then we bow down to Prabhupada, whose deity is there. So the first thing is I offer my respectful obeisance unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and unto feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami. Now here we are talking about the 6 Goswamis. Who are the 6 Goswamis? They are Rupa Goswami, his elder brother Sanatana Goswami. Now these and Srila Jiva Goswami, they are one family. Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami are brothers, and Srila Jiva Goswami is their nephew. And then we have Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, and Gopal Bhatt Goswami. And all the 6 of them are called as Shad Goswami, and we have a separate Pranti prayer for them. So we offer our respectful obeisance to all the Goswamis. We are greatly indebted to them because
25 minutes.
Because they have given us a lot of literature. All the literature that Gaudiya Parampara is following is the contribution of all the Goswamis. These people are highly elevated souls. They have a very rich and opulent background. All of them are extremely wealthy, from wealthy families, from highly wealthy families, but they have rejected all that wealth, and they have in the peak of their youth, they were in their 20s, and they've left all that wealth and opulence, and they went to Vrindavan at the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and to spread the teachings of Mahaprabhu. So they have given us a lot of literatures. And so we offer our respectful obeisance to the Goswamis. And then we offer to I offer my respectful obeisance to Lord Krishna Chaitanya, Lord Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Lord Nityananda, who are the incarnation of Krishna and Balram. Nityananda Prabhu is the incarnation of Lord Balram, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the incarnation of Lord Krishna. They appeared 500 years ago in Bengal, and they have been closely associated with their close associates, who are Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar Pandit, and Srivas Thakur, and other associates. And 5 of them are together called as the Panchatattva. You must have seen that picture in the temple altar, the Panchatattva. Let me try to This is the Panchatattva picture you must have seen in the altar. Can you see it? Yeah. And then finally, I offer my respectful obeisance to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates, Sri Lalita and Vishakha. So you can see here, we offer obeisance to Krishna at the end. You don't directly approach Krishna. We have to go through the Guru, the spiritual master. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has said very clearly, you have to approach a spiritual master, and then from there you take a guidance, and that's how you approach Krishna, not directly. And Sri Lalita and Vishakha are intimate friends of Srimati Radharani. And the next slide is, here you can see the Gaudiya Parampara. ISKCON follows this. And on the top, you see Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then you see the 6 Goswamis, and not 6, actually, 3 of them you can see here. And then in the front, you can see Srila Prabhupada, and behind him, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami, behind him, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, behind him, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and behind Sri Jagannath Das Babaji. They are the spiritual masters of the parampara. And here is the Maha Mantra that we all chant. This Maha Mantra is specially given for the Kali Yuga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This Maha Mantra is extremely powerful. It can be chanted anywhere and everywhere. Unlike other mantras, other mantras are mantras, and this is the Maha Mantra. And the potency of this Maha Mantra is that it is especially, all the scriptures have mentioned that this is the mantra to be chanted in Kali Yuga. So, so now we come to any questions so far? If you have any questions so far, you can put it on the chat.
No question.
No questions? All right. Now, what is Gita? Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad comes from the word Bhagavan. Bhagavan, that which comes from Bhagavan is called Bhagavat. And Gita means song. Why is it called a song? It is not a song. I mean, it is a dialogue, a very serious conversation between two people. So why are we calling it Gita? The reason is, it will come in the next slide. The reason why it's called Gita is that the way it's structured, the entire Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita, the entire Gita is structured in such a way that it can be sung beautifully. And there is a special meter. Meter means it's a term used in poetry, in grammar, which refers to the structure of a sentence in a poetry, or words in a poetry. So because of that, we can sing it very beautifully. So it's called a Gita. And Bhagavad Gita is a manual of life. Why is it called a manual of life? What is a manual? A manual is something which tells you how to use something. For example, if you buy any gadget, you get a manual with it, which tells you how to use it. The other day, I bought a little gadget from Amazon, and it is What it does, it heats oil. A very small gadget. You plug it and you put some oil in it, and it keeps the oil warm and keeps it in a certain temperature. Along with that gadget, I got a 4-page manual. Such a small gadget, I came with a 4-page manual how to use it. What is the gadget that we are carrying? We are carrying this body, right? Excuse me. Just one moment. A gadget is something which tells you how to use a product. We are having a gadget which is our human body. Our human body is the gadget. It is made of Panch Mahabhut. Who can tell me what is a Panch Mahabhut? You can write in the chat. Our body is made of Panch Mahabhut, 5 elements. What are they? Yes. What are the 5 elements, Sapna? Water, air, fire, earth, water, right? Fire, earth, water. That's 3. Ether, yeah, okay. Earth, water, fire, ether, right. Yeah. So the point is our body is made of Panch Mahabhut, and that's just a gross body. That's the gross body. And we also have a subtle body. Subtle body is the Sukshma Sharir. Sukshma Sharir means Man, Buddhi, Ahankar. Right? The Sukshma body has ego, mind, and intelligence. That's the Sukshma body. This body, this gadget, this machine is so complex that in order to use it, we need a manual. And that manual is Bhagavad Gita. The manual which tells you how to use this machine, which is our body and mind. Bhagavad Gita is that manual. So often we have competitions where children recite Bhagavad Gita, right? Prizes are given, which is fine. But the actual purpose of Gita is to be applied in our life. Gita is something which has to be applied in our life. It's a manual which we have to read and apply. So application is the key word. Gita forms a part of Mahabharata. Did you know that? In Mahabharata, we have different parvas. Out of the 18 parvas of Mahabharata, Gita forms is in the sixth parva is called Bhishma Parva. And Gita comes in Bhishma Parva. So, and it's a dialogue between Prince Arjuna and his charioteer Krishna. Krishna, of course, is more than his charioteer. He was his dear friend and his cousin from his mother's side. And Arjuna and Krishna shared a very close bond. You know why Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, not to other Pandavas, not to Yudhishthir, not to Bhima, just to Arjuna. Why? Because Arjuna loved Krishna a lot. And Krishna knew that. So here the lesson we need to learn is that in order to understand Krishna, in order to understand the message of Krishna, you have to make a connection with him. It is not dry philosophical speculation. It's not dry philosophical theory that Gita gives. Gita gives very profound truth, which if you want to understand, you have to become like Arjuna. You have to form that kind of bond with Krishna, like Arjuna, then Gita will reveal itself to you. If you use your intellect and try to understand Gita, you will miss it. You will miss the essence of it. In order to understand Gita, you have to have that personal connection with Krishna. And this is the point which other Bhagavad Gita is missing. And that's a point which Prabhupada has repeatedly stressed in Bhagavad Gita as it is. Only a true devotee who is in a loving relationship, who is in a loving connection with Krishna, can understand Gita properly. Otherwise, you have in the market Advaita interpretation of Gita, where they don't put Krishna in the center, so you miss out the point. And it was spoken roughly 5,000 years ago. This is just a brief about Gita. And then moving on to some interesting facts about Gita. Bhagavad Gita has been published in over 175 languages worldwide. Isn't that great? And the most widely read Gita edition is ISKCON's Bhagavad Gita. Over 26 million copies have been sold worldwide. Another interesting fact about Gita is that the number 18 is seen in many places. The number 18 is special. The army, in the Kurukshetra war, the number of armies that fought adds up to 18. 11 from the side of Kauravas and 7 from the side of Pandavas adds up to 18. Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. And Pandavas ruled Hastinapur for 18 multiplied by 2, 36 years. Some interesting facts about Gita. Okay, now there are 700 verses in Gita. All of them were not spoken by Krishna, though Krishna is the primary speaker of Bhagavad Gita. 574 verses were spoken by Krishna, 84 by Arjuna, 41 by Sanjay, and 1 by Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra speaks the very first verse, and that's it. And that is an important verse. Okay, why is it called a song? Because of its rhyming meter. As I said, it can be sung nicely. And this meter in Hindi, it's called Anushtup. Meter is called Chanda, and Gita is written in Anushtup Chanda, where there are 32 syllables in each verse, spoken in Dwapar Yuga. How many yugas are there? Write in the chat box if you will. How many yugas are there? Our time in Indian, in the Hindu system, right, 4, right. And names of those yugas? Can you tell me the names of those years? Satyuga, Dwapar, yes, Dwapar, Kali Yuga, and one more. Treta Yuga, yes. So we have 4 yugas. The first one was Satya Yuga, where everything was perfect. People lived in harmony, loving harmony. And then came the Treta Yuga. And then followed by Dwapar Yuga. Bhagavad Gita appeared in the Dwapar Yuga, towards the end of Dwapar Yuga. And Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita towards the end of Dwapar Yuga, and after the disappearance of Lord Krishna, 35 years after the disappearance of Lord Krishna, Kali Yuga started. Kali did not dare to come while Krishna was in the planet. Kali means quarrel, and Kali Yuga means the age of quarrel, where people quarrel for small things. And Kali Yuga is an age where everything has degraded. In the Satya Yuga, can you unmute? Sorry, can you mute? Yes. Okay. In the Satya Yuga, everything was perfect. And as time went by, the quality of everything deteriorated. It spiraled downwards. People in the Satya Yuga were very tall. They were very strong. They were very intelligent. And as time progressed, they become shorter. They became less stronger. And now in the Kali Yuga, everything has become really degraded. So even the lifespan of people were different. In the Kali Yuga, they said that people's lifespan is 100 years. But even that, nobody really lives for 100 years, right? People go at the age of 50, 60, 70. But the 100 is the maximum given for Kali Yuga. And each previous Yuga, you can add one more zero. So in the Dwapar Yuga, people lived for 1,000 years. And before that, in the Treta Yuga, 10,000 years. Before that, in the Satya Yuga, for 1,00,000 years. That was the lifespan of people. So everything deteriorated. So towards the end of Dwapar Yuga, we have this Bhagavad Gita spoken. So that's about Bhagavad Gita. And moving on, pretty much that's what I intended to, the slides, as in the slides, that's the main slides for today. And yeah, question, now you can shoot question. Can you tell us how our mind connect with Krishna and follow Krishna consciousness? Yes, good question, Bhumi. As I said, for Kali Yuga, you know, things like meditation, yoga meditation, tapasya, all these are not prescribed for Kali Yuga. The only thing prescribed for Kali Yuga, given the fact that people have degraded so much, their memory has gone down so much, their intelligence has gone down so much, the only thing given for Kali Yuga is chanting the names of the Lord, which is what we do every day. Hare Krishna, everybody. Sorry for that. Zoom gives 40 minutes free time, and we ran out of time.
Again, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna to all of you for staying on. So we were going through the questions. So as I said, can you all hear me? Not able. Oh,
That's fine.
Yeah, so as I said, in Kali Yuga, the most simplest and easiest method to connect to God is chanting the Maha Mantra. People don't realize its potency because it seems too simple. The Hare Krishna Maha Mantra seems too simple, and hence people don't take it that seriously. If it was some complicated mantra from the Vedas, hard to pronounce mantras, people would take it seriously. They think, yes, there must be something to it. But Hare Krishna mantra is so simple, people misunderstand it. They don't realize its potency. The mantra can be chanted in any condition. Other mantras like Gayatri mantra, you have to follow certain rules to chant it. You have to take bath first. You have to purify yourself first. There is a particular time when you can chant your Gayatri mantra. But Hare Krishna Maha Mantra can be chanted anywhere by anybody, anytime. Girls often ask me if they can chant while they're on their monthly cycles. Yes, you can chant during your periods. That is the potency of the Maha Mantra. In one of the lectures, His Grace Radhesham Prabhu had said a nice example of the power of the divine power. And what that example is, sometimes you see on the roadside, people are urinating on the roadside. Yes, in India, we see it often. And the sun rays, the sunlight, the rays of the sun evaporates that, right? If someone relieves himself on the roadside, urinates on the roadside, the sun rays are so powerful, it evaporates that. There cannot be anybody who can pass so much urine that the sun rays cannot evaporate, right? Similarly, there cannot be there's no sin. It is not possible to do so much of sins that the Maha Mantra cannot rectify. You can do as many sins as you want. You're not capable of doing that much sins which the mantra cannot purify. That is the power of mantra. So for the Kali Yuga Maha Mantra, chanting the holy names of the Lord is the best and most easiest way to connect to God. So someone had asked how to connect to God. This is the way. When you chant the mantra, these are divine sound vibrations. They are not ordinary sound. It is not like I'm chanting, any ordinary word like Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, if I chant, it's an ordinary mundane word. It doesn't have any power. In fact, you chant it a little bit, you start getting restless and drained. But the Maha Mantra, the more you chant, the more energized you feel. It gives you energy. So these are powerful sound vibrations which will purify you from inside. And when you chant the names of Lord Krishna from your heart reveals himself. You get revelations, and that's how the mantra works. So that's the answer. Any other questions? You can write in the chat box. Thank you, Bhumi. If you have other questions, we can take that. Tomorrow we'll have our next session. This time what happened was we had the first offline session in the temple on Sunday, and this is the first online session. But from tomorrow onwards, I'm going to combine both offline and online together so that, I will be giving you quiz.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
Mataji, you can type on the chat box. your question. So from tomorrow onwards, both the offline and online session will be together. So we will have the live session going on the temple, and it will be live on YouTube. So in the YouTube chat, you can write your questions and that will be addressed. Yes, Sapna Mataji, please ask your question. How many rounds are we supposed to chant daily? Srila Prabhupada had given us the basic instruction that we have to chant 16 rounds, 16 rounds of Mahamantra every single day. Actually, that is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, because in the Gaudiya Parampara, up to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami, Srila Prabhupada's Gurudev, that used to be 64 rounds. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj used to say 64 rounds. Can you imagine? 64. But then Srila Prabhupada, because a lot of foreigners were in the movement, Srila Prabhupada cut down 64 into 16. It takes about 2.5 hours to chant 16 rounds, and 16 is the minimum. And ideally, you should be chanting in the Brahma Muhurta, which is the time from, what we do is we chant from 5 to 7 in the temple. Okay, this question is before 2 days. Okay, Mataji, that is a nice dream. If you're seeing dream of Lord Krishna giving you a peacock of feather, that's a very auspicious dream. Lord Krishna has never appeared in my dream. I was not so lucky, but you are lucky that he's appearing in your dream. If your spiritual master, if Prabhupada appears, if the spiritual master, if any elevated person appears in your dream, that's very auspicious. And Lord Krishna appearing is very auspicious. He's giving you a peacock feather. I cannot interpret the dream, but I certainly know that it's very, very auspicious to see Lord Krishna in your dreams. Maybe some Jyotishi can interpret that dream. I am not able to, but it's a very auspicious dream. You're lucky. Any other question? Thank you, Mataji. So tomorrow it will be on YouTube, and then we'll have questions in the chat. Tomorrow what I will do is, now this was just a brief on Bhagavad Gita. Tomorrow what we'll do is we will enter Bhagavad Gita starting from the very first page. No part of the Bhagavad Gita has to be skipped. Every single word has to be understood. So we start right at the beginning, the dedication, the preface, everything, and then we enter into the introduction. I personally have benefited immensely from the introduction. I was searching for my, my spiritual journey was not easy. I tried all other things. I tried Buddhism, I tried Sufism, and I could not get answers to all my questions. And finally, I came across Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada. It was lying with me for a long time. I hadn't opened it. Finally, I decided to read it. And I started with the introduction. And the introduction was so powerful. Really, Prabhupada has addressed a lot of things in the introduction. So we will not skip it. We'll start with the introduction. The 30 pages of introduction, we'll take 4 pages at least. And basically, what Srila Prabhupada has established in the introduction is the supremacy of Lord Krishna. See, what we need to understand is Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. If you don't accept the supremacy of Lord Krishna, that he is the supreme, if you don't accept it, then you better not read Bhagavad Gita. There's no point in reading Bhagavad Gita because it will just be like reading any book. If Lord Krishna is not the supreme person, Why are we reading Bhagavad Gita? You know, if it's even the Devi Devatas, the demigods, if there's a book written by Lord Indra, if there's a book written by the different demigods, Ganpati ji and all that, there will be several books like that. But Lord Krishna, being the supreme, makes Bhagavad Gita so special. So in the introduction, we will be Prabhupada has established that Lord Krishna is the supreme through various arguments. So we'll go through the introduction tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow's session is 5 p.m. and that will be the time for all the future sessions. We'll have it in the temple, but it will be live broadcast at 5 to 6 p.m. on the YouTube. Yeah. Any other questions? There will be quizzes after each section. I am posting quizzes to so that you can check your what you're understanding. These are on Google Forms. So when you do the quizzes, you will, after you submit it, you can see the answers where you got it wrong. Okay. For those who are coming to the temple, they have attendance, and you guys don't have attendance. So anything else, or we can call it a day? Any other questions? If you have questions, I'm always there on WhatsApp. You can put it, message me, right? Any questions, I'm very happy to answer them. You can WhatsApp me the questions. And so let's close it, shall we? We can say the Maha Mantra once, everybody. How long will the session be for tomorrow? It'll be 1 hour session. All the session will be 1 hour. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you all for coming. See you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.